everybody. Hope everyone's having a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you are. We're back at our places now. It's Please Be Happy again. Hi. Anyway, welcome in, Mon. Thank you for being first and stealing that from 1010. Welcome in, Errol. Yeah, we're back on back with Please Be Happy. The second stream of I don't know. We're starting with chapter 2, but anyway, let's go around the room, introduce ourselves. I gotta pull up a character sheet. But my name's Nur. I voice Cello Elijah in Silver the Hedgehog.
Hi, my name is Tenten Arcade, and I'm be voicing Mimo and doing all the narration.
I'm Matcha, and I voice Armand, Cyrus, and Lena.
My name is Moji, and I will be voicing Aspen, Pippa, and Tommy.
And I'm Brevi, and I voice Juliet, Gwen, and Mr. Kim.
Okay, let's get started. It's chapter 2 out of how many? I don't know. I got an achievement for booting up the game.
For the second day in a row, I wake up in a soft bed. My bed. It's early, the library downstairs is silent, no one else is here, aside from Juliet. I didn't even transform before falling asleep last night, just passed out like this, with human arms and legs. No wonder I'm sore. After I agreed to Juliet's offer, the rest of the day passed by quickly. Aspen and Juliet showed me around the house, part of the library, and Juliet made dinner for the three of us. Aspen didn't leave until the evening, and I decided to go to bed early. After a whirlwind of emotions I went through yesterday, I was exhausted and fell asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. Not having to be on alert the moment I open my eyes is a nice change. I can toss and turn and even doze a little longer. I get as much rest as my body will let me. Once I've had my fill of being lazy, I finally crawl out of bed. Okay, time to get up. It doesn't take me long to get ready. I tiptoe out the door out of habit, so carefully that only someone with super keen hearing would be able to hear me, but then I remember. Oh yeah, I don't need to sneak around while I'm here. I loosen up and step outside the hallway, shutting the door behind me. Being so openly noisy is almost harder than being sneaky. The building is still quiet. Julia told me to come find her when I wake up, so I make my way down the hallway towards the room she showed me yesterday. It's one of the last in the hall, tucked away in a corner. Unlike the other doors, a tiny bit of flickering light escapes from the gap below. This is the place. Now that I'm standing here, my nerves start to get the better of me. What if she's forgotten me this time and chases me away? Or what if... I screw my eyes shut and take a deep breath, pushing away my worries. If I'm going to stay here for a while, I need to stop thinking like that. I can't let that fear keep winning. Forcing myself to be brave, I twist the doorknob and enter. Wait, I should have knocked, shouldn't I? It's too late now. I step into the room, only to be struck by how dark it is. With just one window, the main light source is a candlelit lamp, illuminating the white-clothed figure sitting at her desk. Just like the library downstairs, there are rows and rows of books covering the shelves around the room. Juliet looks up to greet me, a gentle smile written on her face.
Good morning, Mio. Did you sleep well?
She remembered me. I hide my relief, I think. I sure did. I think that might have been the best sleep I've ever had.
I'm glad to hear it. Would you like to sit down?
Oh, sure, thanks. There's only one other seat, so I awkwardly sit down across from her. It feels a little bit like an interrogation.
I thought it was gonna say there's only one seat.
Uh,
Just like a fan fiction.
There's only one bed.
Only one bed.
Kashi!
Oh, I see you found another chair. Would you like some tea?
Yeah, it's too bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's only one cup.
Oh god.
Oh no, not that.
No.
I've never had tea, so I don't know if I like it or not. I think I should accept her offer out of politeness, though. Sure. Julia pulls out a teacup from the shelf nearby and sets it on a little plate, then pours the tea without spilling a single drop. Oops.
Oh. Meanwhile.
She pushes the plate with the cup over to me.
Sugar?
I've eaten enough human snacks to know that I like sugar. Yes, please. Julie offers me a small pot full of little white cubes. Without hesitating, I take 2 and toss them into my mouth. They're kind of crunchy at first, but quickly fall apart. Julia frowns, just a little. Enough that a human probably wouldn't notice. Did I do something wrong? Wait, I know. Thank you. That gets her to smile, so I'm pretty sure I did the right thing.
Oh, we'll have breakfast in a little while. Aspen usually comes by to help in the library, and then we can eat together.
That sounds nice. Does she help out because of the sunlight?
Oh my, that's astute of you. You're correct. Although I'm able to tolerate a bit of sun, I do prefer the dark. I'm not sure if you knew I was a vampire or not.
Edward?
Historian?
No. Those are cousins.
I figured out just now. That explains how you're able to hear me and find my den, huh?
Indeed. That said, I have my dear friend Orpheus to thank for helping me know where to find you.
Something scratches in the corner of the room. I look up to notice a large bat dangling from a hook in one of the shelves. Ascended Astarion?
Oh,
Has
no!
that been there this entire time?
No!
Is he also ascended?
No, Orpheus is a bat through and through, not a vampire. He happened to notice you on his way home one day.
Thank God.
So that's the friend you were talking about. I was wondering about that.
Pleasure of knowing several of Wellington's local bats. They keep me apprised of news from around the city.
You're not like, you know. I tapped one of my front teeth, not sure how to ask the question politely.
Oh, heavens no! I consume as little blood as one of my kind can, and what I do partake is freely donated. I love this city and its people. I'd never heard them like that. Besides, I had quite enough of that during my time in the underworld. Is that where you come from as well?
Oh, I'm not from the underworld. I'm from Korea. I've heard lots about it, though. I'm one of the only fabled I know of who doesn't come from there. For a long time, I didn't even know that other fabled existed.
Indeed. Gumiho like yourself are some of the few I know of.
Wait, Gumiho? Is that what I'm called? That explains a lot.
You didn't know, but you go by the name Miho.
Just because I like the sound, I thought it was more like a nickname. I change it up wherever I go. Gumi, Homi, Migu. I never had a real name. Hasuna Migu? I didn't even know I had a kind. I had never met someone else like me. I wonder if we'd have much in common. Have other foxes, well, Gumiho, live the same kind of life I have? Maybe they're better at fitting in with people than I am, and that's why I've never seen one. Are there any other Gumiho in Wellington?
None that I know of. It's possible, though.
I'm not sure what I'd say if I did meet one. I wondered about the others like me before, but since I've never met one, I eventually assumed they don't exist. Finding out that they do and that there's even a name for us comes as a pretty big surprise. No matter how long I've been alive, there's still so much that I don't know about the world. After our discussion tapers off, the sound of the front door reaches my ears from downstairs. Juliet must have heard it too, looking over as I do.
Oh, that'll be Aspen. Shall we go down to breakfast?
I'll never say no to that. Juliet takes to her feet, blowing out the lamp as she goes. Orpheus the bat, not ascended. Leaves the study when we do, though he flies off in a different direction. I guess he won't be joining us for the meal. I have to be careful not to spill my cup of tea as we walk down the stairs. Aspen waits at the bottom, a large book tucked under her arm. She waves with her free hand to greet us.
Good morning, Aspen. It's nice to see you again.
Good morning, Juliet. And to you too, Miho. I must admit, I was a little worried that you might run off during the night.
I may have thought about it a little. After I went to bed though, I was out like a light.
Glad you decided otherwise then. Living in the library sounds like heaven. I can't believe that you'd think about giving that up. Anyway, I'm opening today, so I can't stay too late. I'll go ahead and take care of the windows.
I'll get started on breakfast then. Would you like grape or strawberry jam?
I'm feeling like strawberry today. Oh, or some of that orange marmalade if there's any left. You have to let Miho try that too.
I'll see if we have it. Is that Anansi you have with you? You can just leave him on the desk for now.
It sure is. I'll be taking Jacques on the way out.
I'll write it down.
The two of them stroll off in different directions while I stand on the stairs, unable to follow any of the conversation. I'm dumb. Who's Jacques? Annoncier. I don't see anyone with you.
Oh, Anantier.
She taps the cover of the book she brought with her.
He's the author of this. Juliet suggested I read some of his work, but I'm finding him rather dull.
Huh. I try my best to sound interested, but books are the most boring thing I can imagine. Maybe I see the appeal if I could read them, but how can they be better than doing things yourself? After setting the book down at the front desk, Aspen goes into the main room, leaving me alone in the hallway. I make my way down to the rest of the steps. Looking down on my teacup, I decide to take a tiny sip. Yuck. It's kind of bitter, but also bland at the same time. Frowning, I set the cup down on one of the shelves nearby. At least I tried it. The sugar was way better, though.
Emo, no!
Oh,
The door Aspen.
no.
The door Aspen went through is still open, and I can hear her bustling around. The room where Juliet went isn't far away either, and I already smell food. I guess I'll go watch. Our first choice of the game.
Oh, first choice! Are we gonna go watch Aspen or Juliet?
If you look in the channel redeems, there is a grab your controller, and you
Yeah,
can tell us to hang
You
out
can
with
choose who we're
Aspen.
gonna hang out with.
The vampire or the human?
The vampire or the bookworm? Which one?
Would you still love us if we were worms?
Oh, for the Undertaker.
people love us if we were book.
Would you love us if we were book?
Vampire,
Vampire. That's Juliet, right?
Yeah, Julia. I follow my nose and head to the kitchen. There's a big frying pan on the stove with a blob of melting butter sizzling in it. Julia gives the pan a push to move it around before walking to the counter to continue her work. That smells great.
Neil, go ahead and take a seat if you'd like. This shouldn't take long.
I do what she suggests and sit down at the dinner table at the same spot as yesterday. Lovely smells swirl around the room as she opens a jar, this jar and that. What you making?
Fried eggs and toast with some fresh fruit. It's what we usually have. Is that alright with you?
Better than alright. I'm almost drooling just thinking about it.
I hope that it lives up to your expectations then.
I watch as she quickly butters a few slices of bread and then tosses them into another pan on the stove. While it cooks, she takes an apple from a nearby bowl of fruit and cuts out the core before swiftly chopping it into perfectly even pieces. You sure did that fast.
Practice makes perfect, as they say, and I've had quite a lot of practice.
After moving the apple slices onto a plate, she takes an orange and starts to do the same thing.
The bats enjoy fruit as well, so I tend to keep a lot of it around the house. If there are any items you'd like me to keep around for you, do let me know.
Something tells me that the snacks from the convenience store aren't what she has in mind. I'll tell you if I think of anything. If I think at all. Julia finishes the fruit before
Oh.
dropping the eggs into the pan with butter, where they start to sizzle too. Finally, she slides the toast out and onto a plate. Right as the eggs finish cooking, Julia sets the table for the three of us. Aspen daintily steps into the room. All set on my end. Oh, fuck.
Wait.
All set on my end.
Thank you. I just finished cooking too.
We all sit down and dig in. The food, of course, is delicious.
Oh, how would you be spending your first day as an official Wellington resident?
I don't know yet. I hadn't really thought about it. Now that you mention it, I have a lot more free time now, huh? Usually I'd go for hunting for food or looking for a better place to stay or... Instinctively, I go silent as I reach for my pocket and the familiar crumpling paper.
If it's something you don't want to share, don't feel that you must.
Right, that too.
I hesitate. I'm not sure if I ever told anyone about what I'm searching for, or at least not the specifics. I've had a lot of first times lately, though. What's one more? Besides, maybe the two of them can help. No, it's okay. I've been looking for someone. I wipe my hands first, making sure they don't have any crumbs or grease on them. Then I carefully slide the thin scroll from my pocket. I always keep it in the deepest part, where it won't get wet or damaged. With great care, I gently unroll it, letting the two women see the ink markings brush onto the scroll. The edges are fuzzy with age by now, but the text is still legible. I think, anyway. They gave me this a long time ago. I don't know what it says.
That Korean? Maybe Chinese. I'm not able to read either one, unfortunately.
They remind me of older Chinese characters, but I can't be certain myself. Sorry, but I'm not too familiar with them either.
They look a little defeated, but I quickly wave off their concern. It's okay. Nobody I've asked could read it either. For all I know, they might just be scribbles. I thought that maybe if I knew what it said, it would help me find them.
Lee, are they, if I may ask?
They're a traveler. I learned that word just to be able to describe them. They were the first human I ever met, and they told me stories about the rest of the world.
And you've been searching for them ever since then?
Yep, for as long as I can remember. I met them back in Korea when I was a fox. I couldn't understand what they were saying, not until much later. Reminiscing about them gives me a very particular feeling. It's warm and fuzzy, but also a little sad. I think people call it nostalgia. My voice is a little quieter as I finish what I meant to say. And I never stopped them from coming to see me. I don't know their name or even where they're from, but I'll definitely recognize them when I see them again. Both Aspen and Juliet are quiet for a moment, visibly thinking over what I've said. After a long time, it's Juliet who speaks first.
In that case, I'd be happy to assist in any way I can.
Me too, of course. Speaking of which, I may have found something useful to you. I was doing a little bit of research on Gumiho last night. There was a surprisingly little to be found compared to some of the other fabled.
Wait a sec, you found out that I'm a Gumiho too?
Well, yes. It wasn't too difficult to look up. Is that odd?
So in less than a day, both Aspen and Juliet would be able to learn something about myself that I couldn't in a lifetime. I guess not. I only realize now how I sound after I said it. Julia shoots a look at Aspen, who quickly tries to move this discussion along.
Anyway, I was trying to find out why Juliet and I can remember you when no one else can. Although I didn't find anything in particular about memories, there was one story that claimed Gumiho's curse doesn't take effect until a full day later.
Oh, of course, and since you and I both saw Miho again before too much time passed, we didn't forget her.
Right. That also makes sense from what you told us yesterday, Miho, doesn't it? You said that you don't tend to talk to people a second time.
Yeah, I usually try to avoid it, really. I hadn't ever thought of my magic as a curse before, but I guess to the people who forgets me, it is.
That means that all we have to do is to avoid forgetting about Miho is...
It's impossible to miss the pause before Aspen's words, like she's not confident in what she's about to say.
See her every day. Forever.
Forever. The word hangs in the air. Aspen says it cheerfully, but even I can recognize just how impossible that is. At some point, even these two will forget me, won't they? Why even try then? Why bother if I know if it'll just hurt in the end? On cue, those kinds of doubts start to swirl in my head like always. It's so tempting to just stop caring and give up on others. No, I won't let myself dwell on that. Not on my first day living here. Who knows, even if it's a long time from now, maybe these thoughts will go away for good. Julia clears her throat before the silence goes on for too long.
Well, that's not bad at all. Preserving the memory of those you hold dear is one of the most important parts of life.
Aspen ponders for a moment before nodding.
It really is.
It seems a little early for either of them to consider me dear to them, but I keep that to myself.
Anyway, about Jock.
For relief, Aspen changes the subject away from me and my magic. As Julia and Aspen chat between themselves, the conversation drifts onto things I don't know about and people and places I don't recognize. It's all probably related to books. I smile and laugh when they do, but I'm not really paying attention or talking. Listening to the two of them, they may as well be speaking a different language. The more I observe, the more it seems I'll have to learn. Not just about normal people in human life, but about myself as well and even the world. In one day, both Aspen and Julia were able to figure out what I am and how my magic works. I've had a long, long time to do that, and still had no idea. It doesn't even seem like it was hard for them. There's something I have to admit to myself. I haven't really tried before. Just what have I been missing out on? I feel something bubbling up inside of me, the same feeling as yesterday when I decided to come back to the library instead of running away. Something that makes me clench my fists and take a deep breath as I make another decision. Something that I realize I can put a name to, even though it's a new one for me. This is what people call hope, even if it's pointless in the end. I want to learn how to be a person. Oh, Miho. Julia cuts off whatever she says mid-sentence. Both she and Aspen turn to face me, eyes wide. Oops, I guess I should have started by waiting for them to stop talking.
To... what?
I already messed this up, but I keep going. Be a person. To know about the things you two are talking about. All the stuff that you give me a weird look for when I don't know. I want to learn about it.
I'd say that you're already well on your way.
Her expression becomes quite serious as she continues. I'm a little glad. She sees as much weight behind this as I feel about it.
Miho, there are some things that you can't rush or change overnight. This is definitely one of them. That said, starting can be the hardest part, and you've already taken the first steps.
said. I'm sorry too. I didn't mean to keep you out of our conversation.
No, it's okay. I was busy thinking anyway. I can't stop looking for my person, of course, but maybe I can do more than that too.
We'll help you in any ways that we can.
Aspen nods in agreement, but then checks the time and sighs.
So wait until later, though, because I need to be leaving for work. I'm sure Juliet needs her rest too.
Thanks, I am rather tired. Will you be alright on your own for the day, Miho?
Yeah, I should be. I'll figure out something to do.
Wonderful. Here, let me take those.
She gets up and collects the dirty plates, then carries them to the sink.
Tomorrow, I have to go in earlier than usual to open. If you come by, I can make you that drink again, Miho. As long as you promise not to run away, that is.
Sure, don't worry. I'm not going anywhere this time. Although, will it still be at home?
At home?
Like, free.
Oh! On the house! Yes, of course. This should probably be the last time, though, or my boss will start getting upset.
Aw, okay. It was nice while it lasted. Aspen pauses as she rises from the table and starts to leave.
You know, getting a job might be a good idea if you're serious about living a normal life. It's hard the most fun, but then you could buy as many fairy kiss chillers as you want.
A job? That sounds like a pain. Aspen just sighs as I sink into my seat. The way she talks about having a job makes it sound awful.
Customer service is the bane of existence. Well, it's just a suggestion. I'll see you later, Juliet. Miho?
With that, she takes her leave, and as Juliet and I wave her off. After the distant sound of Julia shutting her bedroom door, the whole library is silent, leaving me alone with my thoughts in the kitchen. The front doors are unlocked and open to everyone, so it's just a matter of time until the first guests arrive. Well, what do I do now? The empty room doesn't have an answer. Right about now, I'd usually be scrounging for breakfast or scoping up a new place, or maybe even planning where I'll spend the night. But with a full belly and a bed to come back to, I don't have to worry about any of that. Instead, I have a lot of free time on my hands. Guess I'll explore.
What are we gonna do?
It's how I've been spending a lot of my time recently anyway, and where Juliet and Aspen seem fine so far. It's still a little tiring to be around other people so much. Having some alone time is important too. Making my way into town, going fast, I try to pay more attention to what people are doing, instead of searching for opportunities. I meant what I said about wanting to be more of a person, but small steps are easier than for me. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's observing.
Thank you for the hydrate and stretch.
Well, of course, I'll also be keeping an eye out for anything that can help me find my person. But I have to admit that I don't have much of a plan for that. Usually when I go to a new country or city, I'll try to find someone who might know them, or who recognizes my scroll. I usually prefer asking other Fable. They're easier to deal with than humans. It's not a very efficient plan, but if I'm being honest, I'd have to get really lucky for it to work, but I haven't come up with any better ideas. Now that Aspen and Juliet have offered to help, maybe they'll be able to think of something new. For now, I'm just killing time. I take it slow, passing through the city, and even pop into some stores along the way. One is full of musical instruments, it's Guitar Center, while right next door is a store selling kitchen utensils. Across the street, there's another place with racks full of used clothes.
Stay away from Guitar Center, Miho.
I step into each store and pace around the aisles,
No!
just browsing. I grab a guitar and I start playing Smoke on the Water.
No!
Usually, I never come into these kinds of shops like Guitar Center. Even though they have some expensive stuff, it's all bulky and hard to carry. like Nurse Base.
Yeah.
Plus, I've learned the hard way that some pawn shops and buyers are good at guessing when something's stolen. Now that I'm paying more attention to what's for sale, I realize that I don't even know what a lot of this stuff does. In the kitchen store, there's normal pots, pans, and dishes, which makes sense. But there's also a bunch of different shapes and gadgets with all kinds of shapes and sizes. I can't even guess what you use some of them for. Is that a fucking air fryer?
Oh no.
At the music store,
Guitar
I recognize a few instruments like guitars and pianos and drums. There are also a bunch of that I've seen before but don't know the names of. Mostly the kinds you play with your mouth. Then there are some that I've never seen and can't even be sure are actually instruments or not some other kind of device.
Amps.
I seem to be the only one having this problem. In both stores, the other customers I've seen all walk around like they know what they're doing, or at least looking for something in particular. I try to listen in on a conversation that someone's having with a salesperson, but it's just like listening to Aspen and Juliet talk. I don't recognize half the words. In the end, I didn't spend long in either store. This is already harder than I thought. Nearby, there's a clock outside one of the stores. It informs me that it's only been an hour or so since I left the library. It's still a long time before Juliet will be up. Guess I'll keep looking around. Although I'm not expecting much, I continue to browse through most of the shops I pass, just for something to do. I think about saying hello, going back to buying that Bell House, saying hello to Aspen, but when I get there, the line's out the door and around the building. Peeking through the window, I don't even see her. Instead, someone else is taking orders at the counter. I don't feel like waiting, so I keep walking instead. I end up walking for as long as I can. Stand it, past the Skyport and beach, past Mount Victoria, back towards town yet again. When it eventually gets too boring for me, I head back to the library. It's much busier now than when I left it. There's a pile of books on the desk that people have brought back, and the checkout sheet is half full. Some of the chairs are occupied, and at least a dozen people are browsing the shelves. None of them pay me any mind, even when I grab a snack from the kitchen and then head up to my room. In there, I do the only thing there is to do. Flop onto my bed and look up at the ceiling and disassociate. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad to have a bed to do that in, but it doesn't help much right now. So I can be bored outside or bored inside. In my normal life, I'm usually too busy to be bored. Having time to rest and relax can be a luxury. Now I got more time than I know what to do with. I hadn't even realized that would be a problem. Guess all I can do is wait for Juliet. Hopefully she'll have some ideas. I get the feeling she could give advice on anything. Might as well get comfy. Yawning, I get under the covers and transform into a fox. With a soft pillow under my head and the cozy blanket above me, it's a lot like being in a comfortable den. And after all the walking I did, a nap does sound pretty nice. If I'm lucky, I won't wake up until Juliet does. Wrapping my tail around my face, I close my eyes and eventually drift off to sleep. It's almost dark out when I finally open my eyes. Just like this morning, it takes a second for me to remember where I am. I burrow my way out of the blankets and retake my human form, rubbing the sleepiness from my eyes. That nap worked better than I expected. Hopefully Juliet will be awake by now. If she doesn't, I don't know what I'll do. There's no way I'm falling back asleep anytime soon. Unlike this morning, when I pass by Juliet's office, there's no light from under the door. I do catch the sound of something going on in the kitchen, so I make my way downstairs. In the kitchen, I'm treated to quite the sight.
Good evening, Miho. I'll be with you in just a moment.
It's not just Juliet in the kitchen, but 3 bats as well. Oh my god, it's a Starian.
No!
Whoa!
One clings to the back of the chair Aspen sat in this morning, and another is on top of the fridge. The third one is perched on Juliet's shoulder. I think it's the same one I saw in her office. Juliet holding a small bag and handing out the contents to the different bats. On closer inspection, I realize that they're bugs. All the bats devour them greedily, including the one nibbling by Juliet's ear. She doesn't seem too bothered and hands them each another's treat.
You're so cute. The little beans, little potatoes.
All right, these are the last ones.
The bats on the chair in the fridge finish their snacks and then fly over my head and out of the kitchen. Their wings nearly clip me in the face, and the gust they create blows my hair around. The last one stays on Juliet's shoulder even after it's finished eating, and then Juliet picks up a small envelope from the counter and ties it to one of the bat's legs.
Thank you, Orpheus. We'll see you soon.
Launching himself off Juliet's shoulder, Orpheus takes flight and exits through one of the library windows. Even though he was much bigger than the other bats, it doesn't look like Juliet was fazed by being used as a launch pad.
Oh, my apologies, Miho. You caught me just at dinner time for the bats.
It's okay, I just woke up.
Oh, I take it you had a busy day then.
Well, not really. I just walked around for a while, then took a nap, because I didn't know what else to do.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry to have left you on your own all day. I should have made sure you were taken care of before I went to sleep.
She sure does apologize a lot. Is that what it means to be polite? It makes me kind of uncomfortable. It's not like she did anything wrong.
What are some of your hobbies?
Stealing.
Well, there are all manner of things exploring in this room or that through the library.
Hobbies? I don't think I know that word.
Something you do for fun, just because you enjoy it.
Oh! I don't really have anything like that.
Oh,
Although she raises her eyebrows, Julia just nods. I'm guessing that wasn't an answer she was expecting.
I think I understand. Well, perhaps that should be our first order of business. I believe you'd find your life much enriched with something amusing to do.
Okay. Like what? She ponders for a moment, tapping the countertop beside her.
It could be anything. A sport, an art, or even something like watching television. Whatever brings you joy.
Pretty sure I've never tried any of those.
Then it seems we have plenty of options. I know you've done a lot of walking around today, but I need to go into town and run some errands. Would you be interested in accompanying me? Maybe we'll see something along the way that strikes your fancy.
Sure, fine by me. Not like I got anything better to do. With a smile, Julia gathers up some more papers and envelopes from the table and tucks them under her arm.
Let's be off then.
Leaving the library unlocked, we set off down a familiar path. Juliet maintains a brisk pace but isn't too fast. I like this a lot more than going slow.
Oh, Miho, how are you enjoying Wellington itself so far?
I like it. It's not too big and it's not too small. I like that there is an ocean and mountains close by.
Yes, we're truly fortunate to live in such a paradise.
How'd you end up here in the first place? You said you came from the underworld, right?
That's correct. I was much wilder and irresponsible in those days. But then I met someone who changed my life. Someone who made me want to be a better person. Part of that meant reinventing myself with a new life at a new place. Rather like what you've been doing too.
Huh. I can't picture you being crazy like you said.
Ah, that's something of a relief, but it was certainly true at the time. Sometimes it does feel as if I was an entirely different person back then. It can be difficult to reconcile who we were with who we are or want to be.
Doesn't seem like you had too much trouble with it.
I wouldn't say that. For one, this was very long ago, and even now I continue to change. Everyone does. Perhaps in a few hundred years I'll look back on these days and they'll also seem like someone else's life.
Maybe. Not that I think Juliet is lying, but it seems like to me she's like being modest. I may not have known her for a long, but if anything she seems a little too perfect. It isn't too late in the evening yet, so there are plenty of other people out and about too. Occasionally someone will recognize and greet Juliet, and she always gives them a friendly greeting in return. After walking in silence for a couple minutes, I clear my throat. I've got a question.
Oh, what is it?
Do you always walk places?
As opposed to...
Flying! Can't you turn into a bat?
Oh, yes, I suppose I can. I do so only sparingly, though.
Juliet's ascended.
No.
I find that I appreciate life more as a human than as an ascended bat.
Why? That's weird. I like being a fox a lot more. Being a human just feels clumsy. Your arms and legs get way too long and get in the way all the time.
I don't have arms as a bat. I have wings. But I suppose that's true. It can be quite awkward at times, or even embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly. I've never been embarrassed as a fox.
I understand. There are certainly downsides. I believe the good makes up for the bad, though. Some things are only possible as a human or fabled.
Like what? I can't think of any, other than talking like this.
Like writing, for one thing, as our dear friend Aspen would surely mention. Or perhaps... like dancing. Have you ever danced, Miho?
Oh my god.
Nope, never. I don't get why people do it either. Don't tell me you like dancing. Is that your hobby?
I must confess that I do enjoy it. At times, that is. I wouldn't call it a hobby. But with the right person at the right moment, it can be quite nice.
Oh my god, are they gonna dance? Are they gonna dance?
If you say so. I find myself saying that a lot lately. Shaking and flopping your body around to music is not for me. I don't even know how they come up with this stuff. But I'm trying to remember to be polite, so I keep that part to myself.
So, on that note, I should have asked this earlier. Are there any hobbies that you have as a fox?
I never thought about it that way, but now that you mention it, almost everything is better as a fox. The sun feels nicer on my fur than it does on my skin. Flowers smell better and more interesting when I sniff them. It's more vivid. I remember Aspen using that word and explaining what it means. I bet she'd be proud if she heard me use it.
You do make it sound lovely, but are those things you do for fun?
Well, I almost say yes right away, but then I think about it for a second. I do love those things I mentioned, but maybe they don't fit what Juliet is asking. I guess not. They feel good, but they're not fun.
That's still valuable, too.
So far, we've been following the same path that I took earlier when I went into town, but when we come to a crossroads, Juliet turns into the direction of a neighborhood instead of the city.
The first stop I need to make is down here. After that, we'll go looking around and see if there's anything fun.
Alright, I'm just following you.
Huh?
I think the bottom
Oh, yeah.
changed.
Yeah, bottom.
God, this isn't something in the same neighborhood where I hid from Juliet a couple nights ago. Although it's pretty similar, some of the houses are the sort that reminded me of Bugs when I first arrived in Wellington. We stop at one of them, a little one-story house with a porch light on. I follow Juliet to the front door and she rings the doorbell. Is this for one of your errands?
Yes, we're delivering those papers that were requested.
She straightened out the 2 yellow packets she was carrying. The door opens and a young woman carrying a baby stands behind it. Oh my god, a baby.
Matcha, you want to take this one?
Miss Julia, it's so good to see ya.
With one of her trademark smiles, Julie hands over the papers and the two chat for a bit. I lean against the wall listening to the pizza-toting baby mother. Not involved or listening.
Pizza.
When talking to the lady, Julie uses the same warm tone and softness as when she's talking to me and Aspen. In fact, if I close my eyes, I could almost pretend that I'm back at the breakfast table with both of them, listening to the go on about books. Eventually, the woman takes the folder, and after saying goodbye several times, we leave. As soon as we're
Goodbye.
off her property, I turn to Juliet.
Bye!
What was that all about?
Oh, I suppose you could call it another one of my hobbies.
Talking to mothers?
She likes milk.
Oh my.
Well, you know,
Miho, get on it.
some things you shouldn't question. Anyway, sometimes patrons have requests for information on their ancestors or a piece of history they'd like to learn about.
You have a Patreon?
Well, for example, Mrs. Ali wanted to know about her husband's culture so that she can teach her new child. I find and collect what's requested and bring it to those who asked.
Whoa, sounds like a lot of work.
It's talking to married women. Oh no.
For her, it's worth it. It can be, but I don't mind at all. The past is worth preserving, but no, not everyone knows how. It's my honor to help people do so, and I mean, if I get to talk to her, I have assistants too, such as dear Orpheus, who is delivering a letter on the far side of town for me. I don't like talking to that recipient.
Are all the Bastier helpers even Astarian?
Some more than others. He's not a very good one. They're friends, not pets. So much attitude. And so if they don't feel like helping, like a certain someone, then I won't force them.
To me, it sounds like Astarian's a lot of trouble to go through for someone else. Even with the bats helping out. But Julia apparently likes being inconvenienced. It's the same as letting me stay at her library. Still, that sounds like it could really be helpful in my own search for the traveler. As Julia leads us to our next destination, we leave the residential area and go back towards the city. I try to keep my eyes peeled for anything interesting. There are plenty of people sitting out at tables having a meal or walking around the shops, but nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, it's not that much different from when I was here earlier. There are some more fabled and fewer humans, but there are still plenty of those too. Some of the places I pass by are closed now, but some, like the Guitar Center, are still open
Oh,
for some fucking reason.
hell yeah.
When we come to a big building with a lot of posters on the walls outside, we stop.
This is one of our movie theaters. They show all the most popular films as well as independent ones from local creators.
Oh my god, like Nimona that's now out for free on YouTube?
Oh
by
my
Netflix?
god.
Yes, they had to have a special premiere. Have you ever been to see a movie before?
Not in a place like this. I know what movies are, but I don't think I've ever watched one.
You should try it sometime. Maybe you'll find you like them.
Does one of them have Yuri Lowenthal in them?
Possibly. Movies can make you feel all kinds of different things. Happy, sad, scared, or just amused. Some are good for making you think, and some are good because you don't have to think about anything and can just relax. Take a little nap, one might say.
Why would I want to watch something that makes me sad or scares me?
For some, it's fun to explore different emotions in a safe environment like that. When we see something that makes us feel strongly, it can stick with you, perhaps causing you to view things in a different light. And if it ever becomes too much, you can simply stop watching or put on something else.
I'll try sometime, although I don't know about the sad or scary one.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has different preferences.
Along the way, Julia continues to point out different shops and locations that she thinks I should know about, like another library or a museum. I'm not very interested in either of those things, but I smile and nod and pretend like I am. After a while, we leave the city behind and reach the waterfront, just like I usually do. The ocean looks much different at night, with the starlight and moonlight reflecting off the water. Far out at sea, there are a few lights that must come from boats, and sometimes lights in the sky from passing our ships. We head down a small path to the boardwalk, where we look onto the water. There are a few empty buckets sitting on the ground nearby, as well as some folding chairs. I point them out. What are those for?
People like to fish off this pier. They come at all hours, but I believe this spot is used for teaching lessons during the day.
Oh, lessons on how to catch fish?
That's correct. Is that something you're interested in?
Maybe. It's one of those things I like doing as a fox, but I don't know if I like doing it the human way.
Should you decide you'd like to try, I'm sure there would be someone here who's happy to instruct you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to commit to anything, but it couldn't hurt to come check this place out during the day.
I'm glad you found something that struck your fancy. Is there anywhere else you would like to visit while we're out, or should we return home?
Nah, I'm ready to head back. Is there anything for dinner?
I'm sure we can put something together.
Then let's go. Since I actually know where we are now, I lead the way home with Julia close behind me. It's another chilly morning in Wellington. I'm outside the Bell House, waiting for Aspen. People are gonna think I'm staking the place out, and for once that isn't true. It's after breakfast, but before the sun's up, Aspen invited me for a free drink before they open, but I'm starting to think I've been duped. Anytime now. I rub my arms and bounce around trying to stay warm. Right as I'm thinking about picking the lock for myself, the front door swings open and Aspen waves me inside.
Miho! Oh god.
I want to have fun.
So, anyway, yeah. I was saying. Wait, I forgot what. So anyway, like I was saying, my uncle taught me the trick to make it taste better. You put a little salt in your coffee and it brings out the flavor, right? Not too much. Don't want to make it taste shitty, but just a little bit.
Sorry about that. I got a little held up.
I was thinking maybe you forgot about me after all.
No, you're not rid of me that easily. I was just...
I tried it. It was like really good. So if you tried it, remind me. I'll make you one. So then I was thinking, if I started doing that every time I make a drink, eventually people would have salt poisoning. Eventually people would start realizing about their coffee's better. I'll make it, but they won't know why. Yeah.
Fucking... can always take longer than you expect. Or plan for. But she and I often look the other way for each other on certain things. Such as letting you in before the store opens, for instance.
Oh, am I not supposed to be here? That's cool.
As long as we open on time, it's fine. And Lena and I are the two fastest. You kind of have to be when she's involved.
What do you mean?
I'm sure you'll see. Come on, what do you want today?
I inspect the menu. It's as unhelpful as ever.
Here's a paper copy, if that's easier to read.
She hands me a little printout menu. It also distinctly lacking pictures. Sorry, I can't read it.
Oh, do you need a Korean version? I'm afraid we don't have one.
Oh, nah. I can't read any languages.
Homegirl's illiterate. Oh no.
I may as well have told her that the sky is green.
She's stupid as shit. Oh no.
Aspen stares at me. Aspen stares at me in clear disbelief. This isn't the usual weird look. This is beyond that.
Advanced look.
She laughs nervously.
You're joking, right?
I shake my head. She collapses onto the stool behind her, fanning her face with the menu in her hand.
I can't believe it. I just can't. So you've never you haven't. Oh.
I can tell she really wants to say more, but holds herself back.
I suppose that explains a lot. Still, I just can't imagine.
It takes a moment, but she regains her composure.
Anyway, if you want to try something new, then how about our ambrosia latte?
It's gonna have salt in it.
It's one of our seasonal beverages with apple and caramel. And maybe a little bit of salt if she has anything to do about it.
I have a hyperfixation on this new fad.
No.
Apples and coffee. I've never had that before.
Yes, well, we're experimenting with the recipe still.
It's salt.
I said that we should try adding a little more cinnamon to it.
I don't even know where Lena comes from. Suddenly, she's just there.
Aspen said it would overwhelm the flavors, but I add extra whenever I make one so far, and nobody's complained. At least the ones that are alive.
You serious? You're not following the recipe.
Well, yeah. How else are we gonna find out which one's better? Duh. I'll make one for your friend too. And then, wait, I think I know their name, but I forgot. They were here like on the first, I don't know. But they're gonna tell us which one she likes more.
No.
Aspen? I run!
The other girl hurries back to the kitchen, clearly not caring about what Aspen has about to say. Aspen sighs and shakes her head.
Right. Well, I have to open the registers and put on the coffee. I'll have your drink out in a couple
Oh
minutes.
shit, I spilled it!
Oh, God.
Okay. Good luck. I hop up one of the tall stools and wait, swinging my legs back and forth. Before long, the cafe fills with the smell of warm coffee and baking bread. And 2 milk. It's enough to make my mouth water, even though it hasn't been long since I last ate. Aspen roams between the kitchen and the front area, always looking very busy. She checks and inspects what seems like every drawer and cabinet in the place while we're getting ready. Lena's busy too, mopping and setting up chairs. At some point, she put earphones in, and her music is loud enough to hear it from across the building. She's listening to Devil Trigger.
Whoa.
After a while, Aspen returns to my table, along with a steaming paper cup.
Here you go. 1 ambrosia latte.
I pop the lid off so I can take a peek at the drink itself. It smells light and fruity, and a swirl of caramel syrup is melting into the coffee and whipped cream. Looks good.
No, tastes good too.
I have a tiny little sip since it's too hot to drink very fast. The tartness of the apple actually goes pretty well with the coffee flavor. It's a little sour, but it's not bad. Not as good as the Fairy Kiss Chiller though.
I can't complain about that.
The chair squeaks against the floor as Aspen sits down across from me.
Oh, have you decided how you're going to spend your day?
Not yet. What about you?
There's still another 7.5 hours left on my shift, so I'll be here for quite a while.
Damn girl, 9 to 5.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
fucking hate it. After work, I try to have a social life or maybe get some writing done. Although lately, I usually just collapse on bed and take a nap.
Oh no, girl.
Hey, me too. Without a bed, though. She's like me for real, for real.
Yes, well, I'm sure frolicking through the fields and chasing rabbits gets tiring.
Oh, are there rabbits around here?
Not for long, I imagine. Speaking of which, have you thought about what I said yesterday? About getting a job? Seems you have more than enough time on your hands. You do know what a job is, right? I mean, I have to ask.
More or less. I mean, I've seen people at work before, but I've never had my own job before you ask.
Yeah, I am aware. Anyway, you'd have money to buy things you want, and you wouldn't have to steal to get it.
What do I need money for, though? Julia lets me sleep at her house, and she even gives me food.
I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but Juliet can't take care of you forever, you know.
Thank you for the undertaker for the care package.
I know. Right now, I'm still getting used to even living here. Haven't given any thought to what happened later on. I don't even know what kind of job I could get. Is there some place that would hire me to steal things?
Oh, oh.
Yeah, it's me.
Legally, no. But maybe you can find a way to use those skills. Maybe you could be a security guard somewhere, or a locksmith.
Maybe. What exactly is your job, anyway?
You know, I'm a barista. That means I make coffee and tea and hot chocolate and whatever else our customers ask for. Some people rely on our products just to get through their day, so I consider it to be a very important job. If we were to close or go out of business, there would be a great many people who would be distraught over it.
Wow. Are you gonna do this for the rest of your life?
Whoa.
No. Not for that long, I hope. God, I hope. It's not my passion by any means. I really hate it here, but I don't mind it, in a way. It can be rather exhausting, though, especially on busy days.
I can't say she's selling me on this whole job
Oh
idea.
shit, I spilled again!
What is your passion? Like she was waiting for me to ask, Aspen dramatically pulls out a small notebook and puts it on the table. It's the one that I see her writing in all the time. I lean forward to look at it closely. It's not very big, about the size of my hand, and it's mostly purple in color. There's an intricate gold pattern around the border. It definitely looks fancy. I could probably get a lot of money for this at the right store.
Yeah.
You know.
It's my writing notebook. One of them, at least. My passion is writing, bringing stories and characters to life, making people feel what I feel. There's nothing quite like it. So challenging, yet rewarding.
You write about the crushing drudgery of capitalism?
Of course. It's both my favorite activity and also the most frustrating one. This notebook is full of story ideas, lines that I come up with, or other interesting details.
What do you write on AO3, Aspen?
You don't need to know that. One of the best parts of working here at the Bell House is that I get to meet so many interesting people and inspiring people. For example, when you first came in, I wrote a brief note about you. I never imagined that just a few days later, we'd be having this conversation.
Trust me, I didn't either. What did you write about me? For some reason, Aspen's face gets a little red.
Oh, she gay.
Oh,
I don't remember. Just that I wrote something. It's in another notebook, not this one. My dream is that someday I'll be able to make a living from my writing. In fact, when I moved to Wellington a few years ago, that was supposed to be the first step. It's been taking longer than I like so far. Every morning when I wake up, I tell myself that I'm not going to sleep that night until I finish at least a chapter. But then by the time I'm done with work, all I want to do is pass out. Just like me, for real, for real.
No.
Of course, that just puts me further and further behind. I've really only myself to blame, I suppose. But life doesn't make it easy for me.
Sighing, Aspen puts her notebook away once more while I sip my drink. Tastes like salt.
I knew she shouldn't have touched it. Saying it like that, I can't fault you for not wanting to get a job. It
Yo.
fucking sucks.
Spitting facts.
I'm only here because I need some way to pay the bills. That's just the life of a starving artist for you.
Aspen, stop being so real.
I'm gonna need
Just
some
like
aspirin from the
you,
fact she's
real
spitting
cool.
Aspen. Did someone say job? Are you getting a job here? Is this an interview?
Out of nowhere, Lena appears with a cup in her hands.
No, Miho, just a friend. And were you eavesdropping on us?
Not with these earmuffs? No way! It's not eavesdropping if you're in public. You should learn to talk quieter if you don't want people to hear you. Like me!
Tell me you're joking.
Well, if you pay me extra. About what?
Before Aspen can even answer, Lena turns to face me instead.
Anyway, that's too bad. We could definitely use the help, especially with all this coffee on the floor. Hey, why not apply here if you're looking for work? I bet Aspen would put in a good word for you, right? I could do it too. It's kind of be lying if I guess, since I don't know you that well, but you seem like an alright person.
She does not have a fucking.
I mean, if Aspen trusts you, you could have to be, or you have to be okay. I think I can go and get you an application right now if you want. I printed out a whole stack of them yesterday. Actually, this is the second stack because the first one jammed up the printer and we threw it out the window and then we had to go buy a new printer.
Lena, I'm begging you, please be normal.
Oh, wow. What? Tell me why it's a bad idea. Do you not think what's your name again? Maihi?
Mimo.
Mimo? Do you not think that Nemo could do it?
It's not that. I'm sure she'd do great. It's just.
Wait, that sounds fun. Would I get to work with you?
Yeah, we'd work together. Oh, you meant Aspen, didn't you? Yeah, she'd be there too, I guess. If you call that being here.
Slapping her hands on the desk, Aspen stands up from the table.
Certainly an idea. Perhaps one we should discuss later.
Quasso.
Lena, you and I should be getting to work, don't you think?
Wassel?
Oh, okay, boss.
Please, just go unlock the door.
But then people can make it in. Okay.
You know I hate
Okay.
it too, but
Ah,
Smirking, Lena heads towards the front of the store.
feel free to hang out for a bit if you'd like, Miho. Although it's going to be busy soon, so I won't.
Oh, wait, I almost forgot. If you need something to do, come play tennis with me this afternoon.
Tennis.
Yeah, you know, like, have you ever seen The Prince of Tennis? You hit a ball that broke time. You hit a ball back and forth over the net and then kill some dinosaurs.
What?
I know what it is. Is that your hobby?
For now, I like trying new things, like salt.
I'll think about it. I should try something new myself, too.
I wasn't asking,
What?
bitch. Anyway, you said it yourself. You're totally coming. I'll see you there.
Okay.
Don't forget to grunt.
I can't help but feel I've been roped into something here. But it's true that I should at least give it a shot. Maybe it'll turn out to like it more than I expect.
Cool.
Lena starts to leave again, but then suddenly jumps back around to face me again.
Oh wait, I work here. All right, there's one more thing.
How many more things does she have?
One more thing.
One more.
I could practically feel Aspen's exasperation as Lena runs back and slams the cup she was carrying onto the table in front of me.
Oh shit, I broke it. Try this. Tell me which one you like more. The one I made or the one Aspen made. No bias.
Okay.
I switched them. She'll
With an
never know.
unnecessarily loud sigh, Aspen goes and locks the front door herself. I'm over halfway done with Aspen's drink, but I take another gulp, paying attention to the mix of flavors. Then I do the same with Lena's. Lena watches eagerly, fists clenched in excitement.
So, what'd you think? Come on, be honest.
I can't taste a single difference. They were both good.
Fuck! Sure, but she's better.
Taking another sip of each, I try to detect anything that's different between them, but can't. Fortunately, Aspen saves me. She looms behind Lena like a phantom.
The presents.
Don't you think maybe you should go check on the croissant?
Croissant? Nah, I already looked at them earlier and tasted some of them. A couple of them were kind of squished, but I tried to massage them back into shape.
Lena.
They now look like triangles. Don't worry, I washed my hands first. It was true.
For once, Lena's the one who cut off as Aspen jerks on her apron strings, and she flaps her wings to maintain balance.
What?
Why don't you go check on them again? Or maybe the muffins, if you haven't yet.
Fine. We all know Miho just didn't want you to hurt your feelings anyway.
Aspen releases her. Lena walks off to the back to the cafe like an embarrassed cat, pretending it was her idea all along. After she disappears into the kitchen, Aspen sighs yet again.
Gee, I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. She seems nice. Smile.
That's certainly one way you could describe her. What I was trying to say earlier is that you can stay here if you want, but I won't be able to chat. Our first customers will be here in any minute now.
That's okay. I'll probably go back to the library once I finish my drinks.
Right. I'll see you later then.
She has 2 coffees, by the way.
And
That's a good amount.
don't feel obliged to finish both if you don't want to.
I'm gonna try. Bye. Like Lena, Aspen also retreats behind the counter, starts filling the display case with pastries. I wonder if any of them are the croissants Lena was talking about. Sure enough, it doesn't take long before the first customers start to show up. Aspen takes their orders with that fake, nice voice she used when we first met. I already have gotten more used to hearing her regular speaking voice instead. It's interesting to know that even normal humans like her still pretend to be other people sometimes. I wonder why she feels like she has to do that. So far, she's one of the nicest humans I've ever met.
It's called a persona.
Persona 3. After I finish up my first coffee, I toss the cup away but hold on to the second. I'll drink it later or something.
Good luck, get cold.
Aspen waves as I leave the bell house and start making my way back to the library. I had my fill of wandering around for at least a few days. I'm gonna be bored. I might as well do it while I'm comfy. Job or not, Aspen is definitely right about one thing. I really need to find something better to do with my time.
Oh, we can do so many things.
Yo.
Except our only option is one.
Yeah, because
only one
Lena
option.
forced us.
Aha!
After a few hours of sitting around the library, I'm bored enough to take Lena up on her offer to play tennis. The only problem is I forget to ask her where and when. Sometime in the afternoon, I go down to the bell house, where an employee tells me both Aspen and Lena have left for the day. They give me directions to a place called Hataitai Park, which is where they say Lena mentioned before heading out. I follow their instructions and reach a big open area full of people on bikes, walking, or just sitting in the grass. I wander around looking for any sight of Lena or people playing tennis. Finally, spot the courts and make my way over. Out of the dozen or so people who are playing, it isn't hard to find Lena when I get there.
Ha! Yeah! Nice serve! Now get served, bitch!
She runs back and forth, cursing, leaping and diving to hit the little green ball before I can touch the ground. She flaps her wings to keep from falling over when she does. Her partner, a tall boy with antlers on his head, looks exhausted. When he swings his racket, it looks like his arm might fall off any second.
Oh no.
When I get close enough, Lena notices me and stops mid-dive.
Look! Miho,
GG.
you're late!
Alina sees you. Now that she's distracted, her partner takes the opportunity to hurry away, collapsing into the grass to rest. Sorry, I wasn't sure about what time I should come by, or where.
Make sure to hydrate.
Yeah. Oh, right. I guess I should have told you. In that case, good guess.
I don't bother telling her that I got help from one of her coworkers. Lena picks up the racket from nearby and offers it to me.
Ready to play?
I guess so. I don't really know the rules, though.
It's fine. Me either. Just try to hit the ball, alright?
Okay, I can do that.
And if you can put a rose in your mouth and hit it while spinning and making an upside down L, that'd be cool too.
I take my spot on the other side of the net, try not to listen to her, and imitate the other people are standing.
I never noticed she actually has wings. I thought she was just saying like arms or something.
Hehe.
Alright, here goes.
Lena
Yeah.
drops a ball and then knocks it toward me. I watch it carefully, and when it gets close enough, I swing. The ball goes soaring way over my head and falls into the grass out of sight somewhere.
Maybe a little less oomph next time. Let's try it again.
She serves the ball, and this time I just barely hit it over the net. Lena dives for it like before, and she sends it sailing back to me. The more we play, the easier it gets. Both of us miss the ball or knock it back into the net a lot, but it's not too bad. When finally, even Lena gets tired, and we take a break to drink some water.
I added salt to mine.
How long have you played tennis?
Like, today or in my life?
In your life? She thinks about it a bit, scrunching up her nose.
About a week.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, how about you?
About half an hour, I guess.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. See, we're both trying new things.
The whole time we're talking, Lena keeps glancing away from me to watch the other players. I try to figure out what's so interesting, but can't.
Okay, break's over. Let's play some more.
We get back on the court and play for a little bit longer until the end of the hour. As everyone else starts to pick up and leave, I follow Lena, who puts away our equipment.
So, what do you think? Did you have fun?
It was alright. I wouldn't mind doing it again, but I don't know if I want to play all the time. I can see why some people enjoy it at least. Being outside is nice, and it was a good way to burn off some energy.
That's good. They meet a few times a week if you want to come back.
Will you be here?
Not sure yet.
Even while cleaning up, she's distracted by someone or something else. When the other players walk past us on their way out the park, Lena turns her head to watch one of them. This is also Matcha, by the way.
Oh shit. Planting trees here next time. Really exciting, right? If you...
Just watch his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah! I got a snippet of their conversation as the person Lena's watching. A dryad goes by. Lena must hear too, because she instantly closes her eyes and puts her fingers against the sides of her head.
Planting trees. Planting trees.
She repeats the words to herself a few times, and her eyes snap back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity.
Vomit on sweater already! Okay, got it! Mom spaghetti.
What you got on your sweater?
What I'm doing next time, I'll have to start studying up tonight so that I'm ready.
Okay, if you say so.
What I learned at boarding school is...
I'm pretty lost, but maybe that's just how Lena is. A little Lena.
You should come too. If you're not doing anything, I'll tell Aspen to give you the details and the time off, because you'll be working.
Sure, sounds good. Wait, what? I'm not sure if I want to commit, especially since Lena probably won't even remember me the next time we see each other. But playing tennis wasn't so bad, so I should keep at least keep my options open.
Good, alright. See you then, Miho. It's a date.
See ya. Waving goodbye, Lena heads down one of the paths. I take a different one that leads me out of the park and back to the library for the rest of the day.
Says see you, goes the same direction.
Yeah. See ya.
With a tiny ding, the toast pops up and I load it onto the plate with the other slices. I bring the dish over to the table.
Thank you, Miho. Go ahead and put it by the butter.
Sorry, let me get my bag out of the way.
Once the table is set, the three of us sit. I've gotten more used to the routine of breakfast and know when to do things like pass the salt and pepper without being asked. Every morning so far we have the same thing, eggs and toast, but it's a lot tastier than convenience store food, and there are different spreads and fruits to change things up. Like usual, I'm the first one to finish eating, followed by Aspen, who stretches with a content sigh.
It was superb as always. Thank you, Juliet.
It's my pleasure.
The two of them saying this is part of the routine too. Usually Aspen would be getting up right now to leave for work, except this time she doesn't. Don't you need to go, Aspen?
This your way of trying to get rid of me?
She peers at me from over the rim of her cup as she sips her coffee. Nah, I haven't thought about that. I was just wondering.
Sure, I should be full. Anyway, I'm working a mid-shift today, so I don't have to go in until noon.
Will you be writing then?
Yes, I ought to. I am about halfway through this draft, and I'm trying to finish it by the end of this month, so every minute helps.
Do you need a beta reader?
Not from you.
Yeah.
Oh my, halfway already. Excellent progress. I look forward to reading it when you're finished. Did anyone else hear that, or was that just me?
No, that was totally just you. Don't give me too much
Right.
credit. I still have to get there first. And you know how that's gone before.
All you can do is keep trying.
What are you writing?
A book. I've been working on it for a couple years now, as long as I've been in Wellington.
Whoa, you're only halfway done? How long is it gonna be?
Only halfway? I wish it was as easy as you think it is. It takes time to plan a story and prepare to write, and then even after the drafting is done, you still have to edit it and fix it. Of course, the more you write, the better you become at it. And so, sometimes you notice flaws in your story that you didn't catch before, so you have to go back or even start over.
Girl, are you
Stop
spiraling?
being so real.
How do you ever get anything done then if you're always getting better? Don't you have to finish it eventually?
Oh my god, shut up, Miho.
Well, like I said, it's not that simple.
Nura's being personally attacked. Aspen clears her throat.
Was this a sign? Did you make us read this because you're like, I'm gonna attack Nur personally?
Maybe.
Fucking writer doesn't do anything.
Anyway, it's difficult to explain to someone who's never written anything. Believe me, any writer would tell you the same thing.
Hey,
Just
Nur.
ask Nur or
What?
even Brecky.
Uh-huh.
I glance over at Juliet, who's intently watching her tea as she stirs it.
And you, did you end up finding something to fill your time?
Oh, like a hobby? Maybe. I don't know yet.
Well, don't worry about it too much. It's supposed to be fun, not something you have to force yourself to do. Although I'm hardly one to talk, there are times where I want to do anything except to write.
That's okay. At least you have something. Juliet told me about movies, so I might try watching one of those. Have you ever seen a movie?
once or twice, I'm sure.
Actually, Miho, there was something I wanted to ask you.
What's that?
Well, how would you feel about helping out around the library as a part-time job? I'll pay you for your time, of course. It would give you something to do during the day, and it would be a great help to me.
Really? But I thought you didn't need any help running the library.
It's true that I don't need it. The honor system has served me well for the day-to-day services, and I'm kept informed of any troublemakers. But in addition to the kind assistance from Aspen in the morning, I also have to reshelf books, maintain the check-in and check-out logs, and more. I don't mind those tasks at all. In fact, I find them rather relaxing, but without them, I'd be able to devote more time to other pursuits. If you're uninterested, you're more than welcome to decline. You needn't worry about being kicked out or disappointing me. I'm perfectly content either way. You won't disappoint me.
What? Helping around here doesn't sound bad at all. It doesn't sound very exciting either, but it's not like I found anything else I'd rather do instead. At least it's comfy in the library and super convenient. Having some money again would be nice too. It would be even better that there's no one trying to take it back. Alright, I'll do it. Juliet looks a little taken aback.
Oh, that was fast. Are you quite sure?
Yeah, I'll try it at least.
Of course. If you find it's not for you, then I won't be upset.
Why do you keep reassuring me that?
Don't worry about it. Why don't you take the rest of the week for yourself, and you can begin on Monday?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Excellent. I'll be looking forward to it then.
Two of them chat a little bit longer before Aspen leaves to go right and Juliet goes to bed. I stay mostly quiet, thinking to myself. Apples. A job. That's something I never envisioned having. I figured I'd just keep stealing until... Until what exactly? I'm not too sure. Until I find my person, I guess. That goal has been all I focused on for my entire life. But now, spending time here in Wellington is actually making me plan things out in advance. When I stop and think about the future, it's a lot of emptiness and mystery. It makes me realize just how little I have to fall back on. That's why doing all these normal things like getting a job could be good for me. I don't know what might be useful someday. As for my person, I'm still always thinking about them and how I can find them. That part hasn't changed. For now, I'll just go with the flow and see where it takes me.
Oh, there's so many things to do.
Anyways, Cuba Street.
Oh, this is like a on rails thing?
It's a little on rails for this. Actually, there is time for the other ones, but we probably should just visit the people.
Okay.
Feeling like I could use a break, I head down to Cuba Street. While I walk, I count out the bills in my wallet. Dollar bills, y'all. Not having to worry about money so much is nice. I can buy so many snacks, and no one will yell at me now. When I get there, I zero on the convenience store and stole sandwiches from the first day here. I browse through, grabbing anything that looks good and carrying to the front where I dump everything onto the counter. All of these, please.
Are you having a party or something?
Nope, it's all for me. The impressed looking employee fills up the plastic bag with my bounty, chips and candy and sandwiches. Now, to find somewhere to enjoy these. I don't walk all the way back to the library, but all the benches around here are full. I carry my bag up the street and then down another, and another, and another, and another. And eventually I reach a place I've never seen before. A large brick entrance looms over me with a wide open black gate. People are going in and out freely, so it must be okay. It's not breaking an entry if everyone's doing it, right? As soon as I step in, I'm surrounded by plants. There's green in every direction. I don't have to walk for very long before I find exactly what I'm looking for. A nice, quiet bench in the shade of a couple trees.
Oh, hi, Chuck. Chuck just
that.
rated.
Oh.
Hi, everybody. My name's Neurosis. I'm a computer virus VTuber. Currently, we are reading through Please Be Happy with my friends Matcha, Moji, Bwevi, and Tenten. I don't know if we're on a route yet, but we're doing something.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. How was your stream? Thanks for stopping in. If you need to take a break, get your feet up, go ahead. We'll be at it for a little while longer.
As I'm walking over, something suddenly flies past my face. At first, I think it's a bird or a piece of cloth caught in the wind, but after a second, I realize it's Superman. One that seems kind of familiar.
Whoa!
Travel.
It drifts away without stopping and floats in the opposite direction from me. I go and sit down, unwrapping the snack bar that I bought and taking a big bite.
Do you want to hear about
Well,
Warhammer?
While I'm munching, a bug starts to buzz around my head. I wave it away a few times, but it keeps coming back. What is it with things getting in my face today? No matter how many times I swat at it, the bug doesn't give up. Finally, I go to knock it away, and totally by accident end up catching it in my hand instead. I can feel it buzzing against my palm as it flies around, trying to find a way out. It's not exactly pleasant. I'm not sure what to do with it. If I just toss it in the bushes, it'll come back. Hi, Tommy.
Can I have that?
Antivirus alert. Your PC
Arsenic, thank you
is
so much for the raid. We
absolutely
got another raid.
Oh god.
Hi everybody, my name is Norris. I'm a computer virus VTuber. Currently reading through Please Be Happy with my friends Matcha, Moji, Brevi, and Tenten. Hi. If you need to take a break, pick up your feet, relax. Hope you enjoyed your stream. We are gonna be here a little while longer. Hee.
A voice from behind almost startles me with how deep it is into letting the bug go. I spin around to come face to face with a fable that flew by a couple minutes ago. Just beneath him is a kid. Have the bug?
Yeah, it's for my collection.
The boy holds up a book with some pictures of other bugs on it.
I've got almost all the bugs on this page. That's the only one left.
Suddenly, I remember where I've seen him before, and the fabled. On the pier, hiding from his mom a couple weeks ago. I think his name was Tommy? It took me a bit to recognize him since he wasn't pouting.
Mother wanted to let me keep bugs because she says that they are very dirty and stinky, but father doesn't mind. So, can I have it? Please.
He pulls out a little jar from one of his pockets and opens the lid. You have a whole fucking jar? Well, it solved my problem.
Indeed.
I guess. I dump the bug into the jar and Tommy quickly shuts it.
Thank you. Gerby and I were tracking this one all day.
The fabled bobs up and down in agreement. At least I think it's agreement. All three of us turn at the sound of footsteps as someone else approaches us.
Mother!
Private spot has been filled up pretty fast.
Hey bud, catch anything good yet?
Oh god!
Here he gets the voice.
Throw him down, so no!
Father! Father! Look what this lady has caught.
Tommy runs up and shoves the jar into the man's face. He takes it and inspects the bug inside.
Oh, looks like a big one. Did you say thank you, son?
I did. Gerby did too, father.
Oh, is that what it meant when it bobbed up and down? Both Tommy and his dad stare at me like I just said something crazy. I take an instinctive step backwards.
A new user has logged in.
That.
Oh, thank you, some squirrel, for the follow. You can see Gerby? You mean he's real?
The One Piece is
shit.
always real. Oh, that's right. I remember from that last time. No one except Tommy can see Gerby. Tommy and me, apparently. Yeah, he's floating right there. He has a purple flower on his head and on his sides. I point to Gerby. Although the little fable doesn't have a mouth, its eyes crinkle up in a way that makes me think he'd be smiling.
Mother! She can really see him. See, I told you he was real. I told you, father.
Tommy's dad whistles in wonder. Can you
Whistle.
there?
I can't whistle.
Oh, okay.
You sure did, son.
He turns to me.
Not sure how you did it, but you're the first person I've met who's been able to see Gerby. I've heard lots about him, of course.
From where?
My name's Elijah, by the way, and I'm a
Elijah
reporter
Wood.
for... for one of their local papers. Oh shit. Mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Like, do you
I just wanted to eat a snack in peace, dude. Now I'm being asked to do an interview. The discomfort must show, because Elijah waves a hand just like when I was trying to wave the bug away.
It's fine. It's fine. Forget I asked. Or is it fine? Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I'm just not very good at talking to people.
No worries. Thanks for helping my son catch the bug, though. Beats me having to do it.
Sure, it was kind of an accident, though.
Hey, an accident doesn't have to be a bad thing. Me and my son should probably be heading out, though, or his mother's going to be upset with me. Oh, and Gerby.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Say goodbye, son.
Goodbye, lady.
Elijah takes Tommy's
Fare
hand
thee
and
well.
leads him back out the gate, holding Tommy's book in the other hand. Tommy turns into an old man that looks vaguely familiar from another. Tommy carries the bug in a jar, peeking and checking it at every few steps. Only Gerby stays behind, orbiting around my head a couple times before bouncing up and down. Then he floats off to the same direction as the other two. When I'm finally home, I sigh with relief. At long last, I enjoy the snacks that I brought earlier, and when a bug shows up and starts flying around me, I just leave it alone. I'm not taking any more chances.
Don't want that kid coming around.
Yeah,
again.
don't want the kid coming back.
Once we finish eating breakfast, Juliet drums her fingers on the table, looking thoughtful.
Miho, it occurred to me that perhaps I should give you a proper tour of the library now. That way, you have the weekend to get better acquainted with it if you need. I've just let you run rampant before, and...
Sure. I think I've seen everything, right?
Pardon, I meant of the books themselves, where to find each genre and what they are.
Oh, right. Sure. I hadn't really thought about the books. To me, they're all the same, but I guess it wouldn't be true for everyone else. Right now, I have a place memorized by the same way you'd memorize a battlefield. What places are out of sight, how to get in and out, and anything that might be useful. I don't think there are many battles that happen in here, so Juliet's tour would probably be more helpful.
If you'd like, I can show you a couple of my favorite books. That way, if someone asks for a recommendation, you could at least make something up.
That'd be great. Anything that makes it easier for me to make things up is fine by me. The three of us head to the entrance.
Let's start with the basics, shall we? As you know, this is the reference desk. It's where books are checked in and out, and where anyone who needs help can find it.
What kind of help do these people ask for?
Book help. Usually they need assistance finding a specific book. Or perhaps they need a recommendation for what to read next, as Aspen mentioned.
I hope they like the same books as her then.
And don't worry, I think wow. Okay, what are words? Don't worry, I'll think of some that are more popular.
Twilight.
Not my real favorites, which most people would be too poor to finish.
Juliet leads us to the actual rows of shelves. I stare down the books as I pass by, committing as many details to memory as I can. Even if I can't read the words, I can try to remember the colors and shapes and covers.
Over here is the children's section. It's got lots of picture books and beginner reader books. The shelves are shorter too, so the children can reach them more easily.
Oh, I've seen some of those around. Are adults allowed to read them too?
Of course, parents read to their kids quite often.
Some people read them for fun, too. You gain so much more appreciation for the illustrations once you're older.
we head over to another area.
This is the non-fiction section. It's for books about things that are true rather than made-up stories.
I rarely visit this section personally.
In a shady corner near Aspen's favorite table, Juliet taps a small sign hanging on one of the shelves.
This is the mystery section. Stories about detectives, murders, and other such subjects live here.
I do mystery writers. It's difficult to come up with a compelling one.
We go around the whole library like this, with Juliet and Aspen pointing out all the other sections. Finally, we come to a stop back at the desk we started at.
You believe that's everything. Do you feel like you have a good understanding now?
It's hard to keep them all straight. Fantasy, history, cookbooks, biographies. I think I got most of it, though. By the end, my head feels like it's spinning, and I know that I won't be able to remember everything, as hard as I try. But I do feel like I've gotten a better feeling for the place. At the very least, I could show someone where to find the restrooms.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Don't worry if you can't memorize it all right away. There's plenty of time to learn.
Even I forget where things are sometimes, and I've spent more time here than at my own apartment.
Thanks. It might take me a while, but I'll get it eventually.
I know you will. I have the utmost confidence in you.
If I'm going to do this, I might as well try my best. Maybe something good will come from it, and if not, I can always just leave.
Want to show you the books I was thinking of now?
Sure.
I'll be off to bed myself then. Have a lovely day, you two.
Sleep well.
Night. Julia heads upstairs while Aspen and I go back to the shelves.
To start with,
She leads the way to the fiction section, which is easy to remember since it's the biggest. Aspen runs a finger across the books as we move down an aisle. I see her scanning the titles before she stops and taps the spine of one.
we are Withering Heights. I just returned this one recently after finishing my annual reread. It's a very tragic love story. The main character is rather terrible, I must confess. And there's an awful lot of death.
Thumbs up.
But despite all that, it's beautiful.
That description definitely isn't what I was expecting. People really like to read that stuff. Stares at all of you.
Yep.
Sometimes, yes, you read to experience all different kinds of feelings. Besides, I think there is a kind of sad beauty to doomed romances like that. It really does put life into perspective.
If you say so.
You don't have to take my word for it. I'm sure you'll see for yourself once you start working here. In the meantime,
I follow Aspen to the other side of the room where there are a couple smaller racks of books near the corner.
do you enjoy poetry?
You mean like vases and stuff? I guess they're okay.
That's pottery. Poetry is
She clears her throat.
prose. Words in their best order. Poetry. The best words in the best order. Samuel Coleridge said that. He was a poet, but he's not the one I have in mind. I'll show you what he meant.
The book she selects looks old, very old. It has a green cover that's rough like a lizard's skin, with the letters being faded gold.
Alfred Lord Tennyson is one of the most famous poets to have existed. I simply adore his work. Here, this is from The Lady of Shalott.
She clears her throat again, even though it's only been a few seconds since the last time.
Willows whiten, aspens shiver, the sunbeams showers break and quiver. In the stream that runs ever by the island in the river, flowing down to Camelot.
I barely heard past the first line. Aspens, like your name. Does it come from this poem?
If only aspens are a type of tree. Mum loves more than she likes poetry for sure. I do wish I'd been named after it though.
She reads me the rest of it, which ends up being pretty long. It's kind of hard to follow, but imagining the fields and towers that she talks about is nice. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've been to Camelot before. Some of the details in the poem aren't quite right. Anyway, even if I don't really understand the poem, it's nice to listen to Aspen reading it. Plus, there's no way I'll forget what that book looks like.
One. I thought 3 would be enough to start, but you can always ask me for more recommendations if you need. I could suggest books until lunch if I didn't stop myself.
I might someday. Even though I've lived in the library for a few days now, I never really know how many different books there were out there before.
Oh, believe me, this library isn't even a fraction of what exists. It's not that big for a library, in fact. Just huge for a personal collection, which is really what it is.
How many books have you read?
I couldn't even guess. Definitely hundreds, maybe thousands. I've never tried counting, but perhaps I should, now that you mention it. It would be nice to look back on someday. Okay, here we are.
The book she takes to me is laid out flat on the end table where more people can see it, rather than on the shelf.
Everyone knows the story of Peter Pan, the boy who grows up and never grows up and can fly.
Everyone except me.
Now you do too. Peter has a darling fairy friend named Tinkerbell, and he fights the dastardly pirate Captain Hook. Peter leads a group of boys called the Lost Boys, and they cause all sorts of trouble for Neverland where they live.
What do you mean he never grows up?
In Neverland, you never get old. So he stays a young boy for his whole life, even when the girl he loves, Wendy, grows up and gets married and someday dies.
You sure do like sad stories, huh?
I suppose I do. It's, as Peter Pan himself says, to die would be an awfully big adventure. Still, it's not like I only like sad things. Romance is one of my favorite genres. It's not just the tragic kind.
I sit down on one of the chairs since it always seems like Aspen wants to have a conversation. May as well get comfy. Aspen sits down too, fidgeting with the strap of her purse. Why is it your favorite?
Well,
Her hands stop moving while she thinks.
book. Things can be much more perfect than in real life. A moonlit balcony all alone, or a sunset kiss on the seashore. Real life is considerably messier. I've never been in love before, although I think it sounds quite nice. As I said earlier, people read to feel things. So, until that time, living vicariously through others' stories is enough. What about you?
What about me?
Do you ever hope to fall in love? I assume you haven't been in love before, but maybe I'm wrong.
Nah, I haven't. I like being on my own.
Do you think maybe that would change if you met the right person?
Oh,
Oh,
she gay.
oh, she gay.
I don't know. Maybe. I haven't thought about it much. Since everyone forgets me, there's never been a reason for me to care.
Ah, I suppose that's reasonable. Still, that must be. Well, it doesn't matter. Do you ever watch movies or TV? Just about everything has a love story in it nowadays, not just book.
Nah, not in a long time.
How long?
She sure asks a lot of questions, and they jump around topics so much too. I don't really mind, but I have to try hard to even remember the answers. All the places I've been and days I spent mostly blurred together in my head. I'm not sure, a few years? There was a really big crowd around a window, so I wanted to see what they were all looking at.
And what was that?
I don't know what it was. I didn't speak the language there yet, and I didn't memorize the sounds. But but on the TV, there were these people in white suits bouncing around, and the people watching seemed really excited by it. Aspen gasps.
Did the people on TV? Do you remember by chance if the place they were hopping around looked like a desert? All rocky and empty?
Now that you mention it, yeah. How did you know? She dashes a hand to her forehead in disbelief.
The moon landing.
No, I'm pretty sure I'd remember if the moon landed.
Not like that, silly. It was when humans went to the moon for the first time.
Wait, they did?
Yes, and you saw it happen, apparently.
They must have had help from the Feywild's magic, right?
No, not this time. It was pure human ingenuity.
Whoa.
You look surprised.
I am. I didn't know humans could do something like that.
Well, not just any human. It took a lot of work from a lot of people. It still does to this day. I can't believe you got to watch it live through. What was it like?
I had a really good lunch that day. Everyone was so distracted I was able to sneak into a restaurant that usually would have caught me. She shakes her head.
All you can remember.
It was some kind of pasta dish with a white sauce and lots of cheese.
I meant about... Oh, never mind. Anyway, I was just going to suggest asking Juliet about putting a TV in your room. Surely there's one in this place somewhere. It would give you something to do at least. And you don't have to be able to read to enjoy the story of a good show or movie.
Yeah, I might. I definitely need something to do other than walk around town all day.
Let me know if you do. I'll bring over some movies for you to borrow. If I can't recommend books to you, at least I can do that.
Will do. I don't know where else to start. Where else I'd start anyway. After checking her phone, Aspen stands back up.
I'll be more than happy whenever you ask. For now, not to be rude, but I'm going to go write for a little while. I'm working on the last couple chapters of this book before I'm finished, and I want it to be done with it as fast as I can.
Oh, sure. Good luck. To tell the truth, I'm always a bit relieved when someone else ends the conversation for me. I never know how to do it myself. I wave goodbye as Aspen goes off to her table by the window, pen in hand. Within moments, she's hunched over her notebook, writing.
Oh, we can go places.
Yow.
Looks at Lena.
Is this like a required thing, or can we choose anything?
As far as I know, if it has a clock, you can miss out on the conversation.
Oh,
So I think we have to go to Lena?
okay. Let's go to Lena
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Since I don't have anything better to do, I decide to head back to the park to see Lena. Aspen told me where and when I could find her, although we both know that Lena wouldn't have any idea who I am.
Who the fuck?
Making sure that I see Aspen and Juliet every day is hard enough as it is. Although I like Lena, I don't think I could put the effort to have her remember me too. Maybe if she started coming by the library in the mornings like Aspen does, although I'm pretty sure that's the last thing Aspen would ever want to happen. I go back to the park where we're playing tennis and wander around searching for Lena. It takes a bit longer since I'm not looking for something as obvious as a tennis court, but I finally find her in a group of people near some trees. All of them, including her, have shovels in her hands and are working on digging holes. Finally, something I'm good at, although compared to tennis, it looks more like a punishment than a hobby. I walk over to Lena, who's barely made a dent in the ground. She waves when she sees me, but not in a familiar way.
Hi there. Here to volunteer?
Maybe. Volunteer for what?
To save the planet. Duh. What does it look like we're doing?
Digging in the dirt?
Dig 'em up them holes, digging. Exactly. We're planting new trees to help beautify the city of Wellington by promoting natural resources. I think.
She says the second part like she's reading off a label or sign. Good job.
If you want to help out, go talk to Cyrus. He'll get you all set up.
Lena points over at someone that I sort of recognize, the dryad that Lena was watching when we played tennis. Hi, Matcha.
Whoa, what the fuck? Matcha, how'd you get in here?
Since I'm here, I may as well give it a shot, so I follow her instructions to walk over. Hi there, Matcha. I'm here to help out.
Welcome aboard. I'm Cyrus. Here's a sapling and a shovel.
No, you're Matcha.
Yes.
Cyrus holds out a shovel in one hand and a small bucket with a tree in the other. I take them, doing my best not to drop the sapling. Okay, I'm Miho. What do I do now?
First you dig, then you plant, then you do that over and over until you get bored and go home.
That sounds easy enough.
Everyone says that at first. Good luck. Great fox.
He starts to walk away, but then pauses.
Hey, quick question. Are you friends with that girl over there? The one with wings?
Lena? Sort of.
Can you let me know if she... Actually, never mind. Forget it. Let me know if you need any help.
This time, he really does leave, walking around to check the progress everyone is making. Now that I'm all set up, I take the things he gave me and go back to where Lena is. Oh my god, I'll be right back. Real quick.
Whoa, you gotta go in real life? Good to go.
Whoa!
Since you're new too, let's have a race. We can see who plants more trees by the end.
We can see who pisses the quickest.
We can piss on the tree the quickest and see what one grows and what one dies. I'll give you a bit of salt to help you out.
No! And there she goes off to the piss race.
Piss! This would be so much easier if I were to...
Yeah. That really slows you down, though. Not speed running optimal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I drink a Red Bull. Why else do you think I got wings?
Oh my god. Okay, how's everyone doing?
Good. I'm scared. There's somebody with wings stalking me.
Oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
what do they look like? Describe them to me.
They look like they perpetually have earmuffs on,
Uh-huh.
and they wear pink a lot. They
Uh-huh.
also have wings.
Oh, do they drink a lot of Red Bull?
I think so. That
Mhm.
would explain the wings.
Yeah.
They also that smell like salt.
Oh, that's kind of a weird smell.
It is.
Drink too much fucking
They also
water.
said that they're gonna make me a Cardia or Adrac sandwich, but then pulled up a bunch of mayo and 2 slices of bread and her hand.
Before I can
Uh-huh.
respond or even think about it, Lena starts furiously hacking at the ground. Dirt flies like I was building my den. I watch her for a second and then start on my own. I don't really want to compete with Lena, so I go at my own pace. It's a little awkward. I could do this in seconds as a fox, but using a shovel feels strange and inefficient. Muscles I didn't even know I have to start to feel sore. Only a few minutes later, Lena sprawls on the ground in exhaustion. She's only halfway done at best.
I didn't think it'd be so hard to dig a hole. Shia LaBeouf made it look easy.
While she's laying there, Cyrus comes around on one of his inspections. He stops and examines both of our handiwork.
Nice job, Miho. You're a natural. Lena, good effort.
Lena leaps to her feet, using her wings to propel herself into a standing position.
I wasn't taking a break. I was testing the ground to see if it might be softer over here. Look, this one's will be even better.
Before our eyes, Lena starts to attack the ground again, even faster than when she started racing me. Dirt sails over her heads as she tosses it away for herself, from some of it falling onto Cyrus's head. He looks strangely resigned.
Just don't hurt yourself, okay? I don't want to have to carry someone to the hospital again. There's that time a tree fell on somebody. That was when nature took its aggression out a little bit more physically than usual.
Oh.
Gary? Ouch! I got hurt. I mean, again.
Lena asks questions without stopping her work.
It's a long story. Anyway, just be careful.
As he begins to leave, Cyrus puts a hand on my shoulder. I tense up but manage not to shake it off.
Keep an eye on her, would you?
I nod and Cyrus walks away. As soon as he's out of earshot, Lena comes to a halt.
Miho, right? Nemo? I need you to break my arm.
You what?
You got my better judgment. You got me in your mind.
I was trying to talk with the mouth movement. It's funny.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit much. Maybe just a finger would be enough. You got my well-being in mind, right?
Why would you want to do that?
Oh, you're right. A broken leg would be a broken leg would make way more sense and be perfectly ironic.
I am not entirely sure we're having the same conversation. I decide to try a different approach.
Break me like a Kit Kat bar.
So are you and Cyrus friends or something?
Friends? Kind of, unfortunately.
You don't want to be friends?
I want to kill him. I want to be more than that. I want to be his nemesis.
For the first time ever, Lena looks around after speaking, like she's worried someone might have heard her. Like, best friends?
More than that, like boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh. That explains why I didn't understand. How's that going?
Fucking flying types are super effective against grass
She
types, but I guess
sighs
not.
and her wings droop.
Well, you just saw pretty much. I know Cyrus from ballet, but I quit ballet, so I only get to see him and other stuff like this. But he's always trying something new every week. So do I. Or, yeah, too. But it's kind of hard to talk to him, especially when he's so busy. When I heard he was going to come plant trees, I had no idea he'd be in charge. He's like a dryad. I don't even know if they have anything to do with trees. So I can't let him think I'm a slacker or bad at tennis. Not when he's already thinks I'm a quitter.
I think I get it. The one thing I know for sure is that it sounds complicated. Good luck, Lena. The two of us go back to shoveling dirt, and eventually we go deep enough that we can plant the saplings that Cyrus gave us. I carefully set mine in the ground and then cover it back up the same way I've seen other people doing. When it's time to wrap up, Matcha makes one last trip around, collecting shovels and handing out water bottles. When he reaches us, he nods approvingly.
Good work, both of you.
Thanks! I gulp down the water he gives me in just a few swigs.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
On the other hand, Lena seems a little dejected. She doesn't even try to talk to Cyrus before he leaves. When the two of us part ways, she just gives me a half-hearted wave.
See you later.
Yeah, bye. I'm not even sure what she'll be doing next time, much less when or where. Maybe Aspen will tell me about it again. Digging holes wasn't exactly something I wanted to do a second time, but planting a tree was satisfying. And I'm kind of curious to see how things go with Lena and Cyrus, if they go at all. Lena's kind of a lot, as Aspen says, but she's nice. I hope everything works out for her at least. Looking around, I noticed that I'm the only one left, so I toss my empty bottle in the recycling bin and start making my way back.
I think that's it for tonight.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
time.
Can't
I'm
believe
flirting
Matcha's-
with myself.
I know you're flirting with yourself.
So Nur assigned the characters, and I was like, Nur has done the funniest thing possible. I don't know why it's not letting me say it.
Yay!
Yeah, maybe I have to like go into situation.
Self-love
Yeah,
and
go into
self-rejection. Let's go.
Yeah, go
Should I
to
go to Cuba Street? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuba.
Yay.
And then try
I gotta
to-
actually save this game first. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for Please Be Happy. Matcha, congratulations on self-love.
Yeah.
We're doing more self-love.
It was more like self-indifference.
I mean, so one half of you loves yourself. The other part is very indifferent towards yourself.
Yeah.
We gotta improve that.
Yeah, it's the part of me that's like, wow, you're going a little off today. You should probably take care of yourself.
Yeah. All right. Let's see who we're gonna raid. Next week is still gonna be Please Be Happy.
Antivirus alert.
oh, did I get
Your
another raid?
PC is
Maya?
absolutely fucked.
Hi, Maya.
Good luck.
Hi, everybody. My name's Neurosis. I'm a computer virus VTuber. We're just wrapping up, but thank you so much for the raid, Maya. I'm sorry, we're about to raid into somebody else, but thank you. We'll find someone nice to pass you on to. Hope you had a good food and drink stream. We're doing more snack stuff. Maya does really good snack streams. Let's see. You did snack box. Nice. There's like a bunch of people online. I'm trying to pick between them. Oh, we're gonna raid Kana. Kana's playing I Was a Teenage Ex-Colonist. That seems interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like that's kind of like a VN cozy game, right?
Well, cozy is a word for it, I suppose.
I don't know anything about that. I know it like has a VN vibe to it.
Yeah, it's very VN. Cozy is not the word I'd use.
Okay. A non-cozy game. Stop being comfortable. It's time to get focused. Time to wake up, everybody. All right. Yeah, we're gonna read Kana. We'll be back next week, same time, same place for more Please Be Happy. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone say bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Remember to salt your coffee.
Yep.